This might be above my pay grade.
Welcome to Over the Years. My name is Tim, and I love vintage items. I hunt for treasures and bring you the ultimate prizes of antiques, collectibles, and vintage decor. Join me, my Dukes, my girlfriend Josie, and other guests as we...
You thought I was gonna say what's up, party people? So yes, we are here in the Over the Years basement, and we today are going to show you guys how we take care of Pyrex. So I've been kind of like stockpiling Pyrex, different levels of cleaning needed pieces. So as you can see, we have a whole bunch of different Pyrex over here, and we're gonna go over all the things that go into taking a Pyrex from a garage sale, estate sale, thrift store, and then getting it back to being ready to go for sale. So we will show you guys some.
Why don't you start with the one that's got schmutz all over it?
Which one? They all have schmutz all over it.
Oh, the one that had the stickiest part we were looking at.
Look who it is. My Dukes is in the building. Okay, so we're going to go over these dishes. This right here is a Pyrex large refrigerator dish. It is a 503. On the screen, I will show you guys the where you can see the number of the Pyrex to identify what type of model it is. So this has all different types of levels of cleaning that's going to be need done. So you'll see here, these are like these dark black scratches. They're not necessarily scratches. Now we're going to show you guys how to clean that off. We'll show you how to get any of this sticky stuff off. As you can see, there is stuff all over this dish. And now the scratches that you won't be able to fix are the ones that clear through the paint. So you can see those more when you hold it up to the light. Now you see that one right there. So that you won't be able to fix. The ones where the light comes through on the bowl. But we can definitely salvage this bowl. Or this is actually a refrigerator dish. I keep saying bowl. But yeah, so what we're going to do now is I'll show you guys how my Dukes gets the business on cleaning the Pyrex. All right.
Okay, I have to get the goo off. So to do that, use a trusty old Goo Gone. And I don't put a lot on, just enough to take my fingers and rub it around any sticky parts, where either if you get it at the thrift store, they love to put tape all around it. That's what I think most of this is, mostly on the corner. This, I think, I don't feel anything sticky. I just see a major big scratch there. That is when we bring in the barkeepers. Now that's going to have to sit just for a hot second till the Goo Gone begins to work. And the thing that I use the most probably is Peak. Because if it's seriously bad scratches or, you know, anything that looks like it might be minimal damage that you can scrub out, this is the best for that. Sometimes I use barkeepers. So when you're talking about cleaning Pyrex, my main three are the Goo Gone, the barkeepers, and the Peak. And if worse comes to worse, I have to use like a little scrubby pad. And sometimes, you'd be surprised, those Mr. Clean sponges can get out a lot.
That Mr. Clean sponge looks like it needs to be Mr. Clean.
Yeah, well, this end's a little shot. But then when all is said and done and you've got all your scratches out and ready for the last wash, nothing beats Dawn. This trusty little single-edged razor blade.
Very safely though, so that it doesn't scratch the Pyrex.
Yeah, what you do is you slide it along the goo. Just slide it along the goo. Like maybe a circular motion. And then you just keep going like this till you get the goo off. So you take a... Now see, I don't use rubber gloves when I clean because you got to be able to feel what's going on. So This is hell on your nails, but, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. All right, so that's that. Paper towel, I rub off the Goo Gone to make sure I get all the schmutzy tape off. Okay, I don't feel anything sticky. Oop, right there, felt a little sticky. Now that's it. So, then I take it, get some nice hot soapy water, and then put soap in there and make hot water. Then I take the Peak. Now this stuff is great for every type of a surface. It's great for metal, anything. Anytime you've got scratches. Well, maybe not wood, but it's really good for a lot of things. Not cheap, but works well.
And it's really concentrated, so you don't necessarily need to use a lot of it.
You know, sometimes it tells me to wet it, but I don't. This is a bad one, so I used a lot today. I literally take my fingers and rub it in like this. And where else is a bad scratch? Oh yeah, that's a bad one.
It's all over. That's why I picked this one up.
Man, he must have been feeling pretty confident we were going to get this off. All right, you can either use right here I use a, where's my sock? Oh, my grandson's sock. That's what you do with all those socks that don't have pairs.
Now this is where you got to get the elbow grease in.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Elbow grease needed.
Timber.
Bring out the big elbows.
Yeah. Actually, what we really need is Josie. Josie's really good at this. So there's one scratch that did not appear to be a deep one that you could see through. And I kept scrubbing and scrubbing. And usually the circular motion is the best way to get it off. Good times. Also helps if your glasses are good. Because I always think I've got it all, and then there's one little piece of schmutz on there you gotta go back and do again. You gotta get in those little ridges. Another spot that with hidden dirt and problems is the handles. Because there's little ridges, and sometimes I have to take the straight edge, take a straight edge razor and carefully scrape the grease off, because you'll get these in all kinds of conditions. I mean, it looks like somebody literally took their dinner out of it and threw it in the yard sale, and the grease is baked on. So this works fine, except if you've got pieces of Pyrex that's been put in the dishwasher multiple times and they've used strong dishwashing detergent, the color will actually fade.
It's called DWD, dishwasher damage.
Yeah. And so, because they also rub up against other pieces, and that's when you get those black, scuffy looking marks that most of the time will come out. Sometimes, if they're really deep, they won't.
Oh, yeah. This one's pretty deep on this side, but...
Okay, well, let me try again with some barkeepers.
Okay,
we're gonna switch. We've used every level of cleaning on this one, and now we're done. And we're gonna get all the barkeepers off and anything else we used on it. And good old Dawn. Figure if we can get the oil off the birds, we can get it off this. Dawn on everything. I would have to say that's probably my favorite. And rinse this sucker off.
we just give it a nice good dry.
And buff.
And then we will show you guys the after and the before. But yeah, that one came out really nice. Look at that.
All the goo's off. The major scratches. There are a few we couldn't get, but he'll tell the buyer about that. Pretty piece of Pyrex. Looking good.
Next up, this pattern is called Snowflake Garland, and this is a 922 loaf pan. So this one actually is pretty good condition. One part we're going to show you guys is just this little grease area right here. So now we're going to try and get that grease out of there and then work a little bit on this bottom part right here. Stay tuned.
Well, that's coming off. I think that was just, you know, stuff from where it was stored at the... This is what I'm not sure about. You know what? I think that's coming off. I think it's just, you know, something, food or whatever. That came off. Okay. Okay, I see a few little places, but not bad. There's some grease up in there. Let's see if my single-edged razor blade will show you how that comes off. Very carefully. Circular motions. Circular motions. This stuff's pretty sturdy.
Yeah, the Pyrex is hard to chip.
Let me try that off. I got a little bit more left to do, but I think a lot of that's going to come off.
Mm-hmm.
All the grease on the corners is gone.
Grease be gone. I have a very old primary color blue 502 dish, and you can see it does have some scratches. Now those won't come out, but it will be, you know, we'll tell them about it in the listing. Now this is the old ones. As you can see, the edge is like beveled, which in the old, they changed the design of the dish to stop it from getting this cosmetic damage over the years. So this one is in, you know, you can't really do anything about the scratches. We're going to show you how we take out some of these dirty stains though. Like right in there, you can kind of see that dirt on there. And then the other one is going to be on the top of the lid. On the top of the lid, there's a little bit of grease stain inside there. So we're going to show you guys how to get that out really quick again. All right.
Putting the lid in the Dawn to kind of soak it, get it started, while I check this part out. Ooh, I can feel the sticky on the bottom.
That's got some goo, so we'll put some goo gun on that.
Right. Don't need a lot, folks, because this stuff's expensive too. Sometimes the good old repurposed toothbrush is good to get in the cracks. This has been soaking. I've been smoking. This has been soaking for a while, so the grease is coming off pretty easy. Just get around in there and scrub-a-dub-dub. Now, if it's really hard to get off, I got this little guy right here. The bristles are a lot stronger, but I don't think I need it for this. Some of the other ones, maybe, but not this one. It's just pretty well soaked off, so we're good. It's going to be challenging. It's got a thin layer of who knows what. It's not scratch, it's just like dirt. You know? Pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, like, it has
scratches.
Those, I mean, they're the black marks, you know?
But I'm not going to find
rotate it.
I'm not going to find it until I
I can see some of them. Like, you just go back a little bit. Like, you can see, guys, those are scratches that you're not going to be able to get out. But we're going to show you the before and the after a little Ma Dukes magic. What you got up your sleeve, Ma?
I think this bad boy is going to go with a Mr. Clean Sponge to off the break. Then we'll move to Peak or, you know, Barkeepers, but this is pretty sad. This might be above my pay grade. Okay, now we're going to have Tim double check and see if a little peak will help the shine on this and make sure there's no residue from any of the other cleaners that I used. So round and round it goes. There you go.
You could tell this is, you know, has seen a lot of wear. It's probably been run through the dishwasher a couple of times because it's not as glossy as I would like. But, you know, obviously we're very upfront with our Pyrex. We say that there's wear. Unless the Pyrex bowl is in absolutely perfect condition, we always mention that there's possibilities of minor wear and scratches, just so people don't feel like they're getting something that they won't get. Alright, so now we're running with water. So these refrigerator dishes right here are OG red ones. They almost look orange or like tomato. And you can see this one's got a fair amount of scratches, but they're the OG ones. So they're actually a little bit taller than the bright red refrigerator dishes. And once again, they have that bevel that I was telling you guys about, that beveled edge around them. And you can see the marking on the bottom too. I gotta dry this one right here, but you can see, I guess you can't see.
Try that.
Oh. There you go. You can see it's got the old stamp on the bottom. But yeah, OG red. These are scratched up, but they should still sell, especially with the lids.
I laughed from that lady that ordered one of our Pyrex bowls. One of her comments in the section was, after she gave us 5 stars, it was like, and it was so clean. Remember?
Yes. So, all these bad boys have now been cleaned. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13 total pieces. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you images with telling you which each piece is, how much I'm going to list it for, and how they look now that they've all been cleaned. So stay tuned.
Whoa.
All right, so I have to like bend down so that we're
Okay.
no, you don't. All right, so thank you guys very much for watching our video on how we prepare Pyrex. A lot of these pieces I probably wouldn't normally pick up, but I did buy them so that you guys could understand the different degrees of damage, different degrees of scratches and cleanliness, the ones that you can clean and the ones that, you know, if there were a more valuable pattern and you might not pick it up because you think it's really messed up, but you can actually bring it back to life. So if you guys are looking for any of these products, I'm going to drop links in the description for you. Thank you all for checking us out. Shout out to my Dukes.
Stay safe, folks.
Say it one more time.
Look, say stay, folks, because I'm elderly, right?
Say.
Stay safe.
There you go. You said stay safe.
I did.
Peace.